Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, a Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry. Hey, and I don't have a horrible accent this week.
Hey, congratulations. I unfortunately was not chosen to be part of the Real Housewives of Charlotte.
I know. And that
bummer.
was what our fans were questioning. Like, did he make it? I know he would bring the drama.
Yeah, thanks for all of your encouraging words, Jerry, and then everyone who reached out to me privately. I appreciate that. No, I had a terrible ear infection and just couldn't even stand the thought of putting on headphones or earbuds or anything. So I had to bail out on Jerry, but thought you did a really good job on the recap, Jerry, even though it was a terrible, terrible defeat for the Panthers.
Oh.
How do we think the season went versus our expectations? All right. So when we did our preview episode, we both thought that this was not going to be a winning season.
A 5 or 6 wins, I said.
Yeah, which is what we got. The Panthers teased us a little bit by starting off 3-2.
Yeah.
And then promptly dropped 9 of the last 11 games. Right? I think I got the math right there.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy Bridgewater started off as like a top 5 quarterback in the league for the
Fuego.
first few weeks.
Yeah, he was he had people believing, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then not so much.
it was incredible, his regression this year.
Yeah.
At the beginning, like Vegas, we put up 30 points.
Yeah, week 1.
Week 1, we looked great. I mean, he would throw the ball deep. I mean, I remember a deep pass on that game to Robbie Anderson.
We were excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
We're like, finally, we're throwing deep. I remember that because Cam couldn't throw the deep the past few years when he was a starter.
Yep.
And then it just completely went away.
Yeah, it seemed like week by week, and it seemed to start when he got hurt in Tampa. That's what Matt Rule has pointed at, to saying that from then on, it was sort of a gradual downhill for Teddy. I think it started a little before that, personally, but yeah, as Teddy went, the Panthers went, it seemed. And when he was really good, they were right in every game, and when he was bad, they weren't. I saw CBS.com have put out a grade for each of the new coaches.
Oh.
And they gave Matt Rule a D. Yeah, they gave Mike McCarthy like a C+. They gave Matt Rule a D. And they said that the Panthers just weren't competitive. And I'm thinking, did you watch any of the games? Because to me, what I saw this season was the Panthers, outside of really 2 games, were competitive in every game. I mean, they lost 8 games. It was 3 games. By 3 games. The last, I forgot about the last game. I wasn't here recapping on that one, so that one didn't really count. But I mean, the Panthers lost 8 games by less than 1 score.
Yeah.
And they were very competitive against good teams like Kansas City. They were in that game.
New Orleans, we were in the first game.
New Orleans in that game. Tampa
Green
Bay
Bay in that game.
Yeah. So I mean, these were teams that we could have beaten. Minnesota, we were right there. I mean, Minnesota wasn't a great team, but that was a very close game. The Bears, it was a close game.
Yeah, I don't agree with that D.
Yeah, I don't get it, because to me, I think Matt Rule kind of.
Look at the talent difference between Dallas and Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean,
Carolina cleaned house before the season.
We started veterans 3 or 4 rookies every game on defense.
Every single one of the 7 draft picks that the Panthers drafted at least started 1 game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. I mean, and the Panthers cleaned house. They lost Luke Kuechly. Christian McCaffrey didn't play but 3 games the entire season. That's your 2 best players on the team weren't here for most of the season. In Luke's case, all the season.
Well, Luke's gone. I mean, he retired. Yeah. But from last year, you're absolutely correct.
That's what I'm saying. But when Rule was hired, I guess he probably knew when he was hired, but still, that's not a piece that they expected not to be on the team.
Correct.
From last year.
But he's been supposedly very influential to Jeremy Chin and
thank God, right?
yeah.
But I mean, so to me, and Tepper said, when he fired Rivera and the rebuild was on, right?
Yeah.
He stated very specifically that there could be some lean years before the Panthers were consistent, that they're trying to build a winner. They're not looking to compete immediately for the Super Bowl, that they're trying, to build a consistent winner, and that takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So we all expected this to be one of these 5 or 6 win seasons.
Most of us expected that.
You rational fans that were paying attention should have expected that. There's the rose-colored glasses people that think every year is a Super Bowl opportunity, but next year though is the Super Bowl. But anyway, I thought Matt Rule did a good job.
I did too.
Given what he had to work with, I think he learned a lot, and I think next year with a full off-season program, with some more money to play with, not nearly as much dead cap going into the season, and some options, that this is going to be, and hopefully a healthy CMC, that it could be a very different year.
So so CBS gave him a D?
CBS.com, yeah.
So what would you give him?
I mean, I'd probably give him like a B+.
See, honestly. I would give him a B. Again, I think the offense regressing is why it's not higher. Phil Snow, I saw improvements throughout the season, and once Tyre Whitehead went out for Jermaine Carter as a starter, you could see the defense really responded. The game in Denver was really bad, and last week was bad. But for the most part, I feel midway through this season, I was ready to fire Phil Snow, and now I'm seeing a difference. I'm showing, and it showed also that he started blitzing more. It felt like he learned from some of the ways he was playing. Oh, the NFL is different. I have to tweak my game plan a little bit, and it started working.
Yeah,
and with a little bit more seasoning and some better players, I think this defense can grow, and I think they have the pieces to be a really good defense in the future. Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown. I mean, those three are good linchpins. And Dante Jackson had a good ending of the season when he was healthy.
When he was healthy, he played well. And that's another guy who was hurt most of the season, your number one starting corner. So, and it's weird to give a 5-11 coach a B+, I know that, or even a B.
Yeah.
But I just think given what he had to work with, given my expectations coming into the season, and the fact that they were competitive. I mean, they were, the ball swings a different way in a few of these games, and they're in the playoff picture in year one. I mean, and I think it worked out okay, because now we're going to get a top 10 draft pick out of it. And Matt Rule learned a lot of lessons that you learn when you lose close games, instead of maybe learning some false lessons when you win those close games so early. You get a little cocky, you get a little, maybe you don't learn what you should have learned. I think he's going to learn how to win games. And man, I think they made the right decision with the hire, and I'm excited about the future.
I do too. I think this team is in the right direction. I think there's one big key piece that we need to find. I think we all know that, or at least in my eyes, I don't see Teddy Bridgewater being the franchise quarterback here. And obviously they need more players. But overall, yeah, I agree. I think we're trending upwards. I think the team, is going the right directions. And yeah, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the season review.
Other than that, we want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
Yeah, I think we're going to move probably to one time a week here for the next little while. So the next show will be sometime in the middle of the next week. We'll try to do, Wednesday or Thursday. But until then, everybody stay safe. Enjoy the week 1 of the playoffs. And until next time, keep pounding.